So today I'm here to show you a method of carry I live by, and that is the weekender EDC. You're running out of the house, you're trying to get somewhere, you're out of time, and you want to make sure that you have all the essentials. So I'm going to go over a system I have and how I apply different layers to make sure that I'm never unprepared. And just personal experience and haven't had to pack a lot of things before for different trips and forget things, I kind of have a nice system that I've built that I'm going to dive into right now. So grab a coffee and a notebook. I'm going to show you what I have and then see how you can customize it for your needs. So what we have here is the Maxpedition Fatty Pocket Organizer in khaki. It is a perfect size, 5 inches by 7 by 2. Just for comparison, I have another one that is a bit bigger, and then this one I use for my tools inside my vehicle. I'll probably make another video on this one at some point, but as you can see, I got an air gauge, screwdriver, wrenches, flashlight, tape measure, all this nice stuff in this nice organized pouch. Again, I have a bunch of stuff hidden here too, notebooks, pencils, whistles. That could be another video. So back to the Fatty Pocket. As you can see, we have this awesome grab handle at the top. Very sturdy, nylon, sewed on every which way. Some molly webbing on the back, so if you want to attach this to another bag, that can be done. On the front, we have some Velcro. I'm not a big patch guy, but if you wanted to spruce this up a little, you could do that. On the front is a nice Velcro pocket that's got like this mesh material, so if you want to bury something in there, have it easily accessible, you can do that. The construction is really high quality. Love what they've done with this. And the zippers pull very easy, YKK. So for you people that know your zippers, those are very good quality. And now just opening it up, and we'll go through the items in just a second, but right now let's just dive into the features of this bag. So on the left side, we have this deep pocket. There's a built-in clip, some more elastic webbing, to keep your various items built all the way through. You have one more in the middle, 2 larger ones on the right side, and then a hidden pocket here on the side that's just, a zipper opening to open and close and keep everything really organized. So that's the case in a nutshell. Again, it feels solid, it's real sturdy, great construction, zips up very nicely. Just know that you can use this for a lot of different uses. You may have different types of kits, and you may have different levels of kits. So you may have something that's for the outdoors, something for your tech needs or electronics, something that you have with your friends or photography, and then you have different levels. So this is the simple one. This is just kind of go anywhere, do anything. Now, if I was going camping, I would have maybe a couple more of these that I'm adding into addition, something that has extra first aid kit, candles, lanterns, all that kind of stuff. If I'm going to my parents' house for the weekend with the family, that's going to be different. I'm not going to bring one of these charging bricks, but I may bring my iPad. When I'm going camping, flip that. So it just depends, but having kind of the essentials in one bag and then kind of leveling up other kits that you need to bring makes it the most flexible to make sure you have the right gear for your trip, so you're not packing everything, individually and by hand every single time. So let's think of it layers, kind of like how you dress for in winter. So starting left to right, my left, I have the Kershaw something another 5K knife. This is a 3¼ inch blade. It's kind of got this plastic handle, and it's got a little thumb wheel for opening it with one hand, stainless steel, and overall this is a nice knife. I probably daily carry this for years, and it was one of my favorites, but I just moved on to something a little better. Right now, I carry the Benchmade Mini Bug Out. So it's just a tad bit smaller. I think it's like 2¾ inch blade, but it is 1½ ounces. I think I've done another video on just this. It's got the deep carry clip, so it easily conceals right into your pocket. It's got the little thumb studs for opening, closing with the access lock. But this is my new favorite. It's got this plastic thermo glass injected, blah, 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 handle, but it is tough as nails. I've abused the heck out of it. But this is the one I'm going to carry with myself every single day. And this one is, if I've gone somewhere and I've forgotten my knife, heaven forbid, I still have a blade on me. So that's why it has been brought to the bag as kind of my number 2 choice. Moving on, we have the Olight Arkfeld Pro. This is, let's get a focus, my favorite light. And they actually have a new version coming out, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But what I don't like, it's got a proprietary charger on the bottom. So it's like a little magnetic disc, and it charges it. The new version has that plus USB-C on the side, and I'm telling you, everything that I get now is going to be USB-C. But kind of like that Benchmade knife I have, it's got a deep carry clip, so it slides right down into your pocket. It's not coming out. And this one has 3 different modes. So if you look at the dial, we have one for just a normal light, kind of like a floodlight. You can see when I turn it on that there's a little battery indicator there on the top, so I can see how charged it is, which I love. There's also a laser mode. That's fun for pointing at constellations and stuff with the kids. And then a UV mode. That one, you don't want to look, at your bathroom because it's gross. But a really, really handy to have those 3 modes with just like this metal switcher. And you can change the different intensities of the light. So if you hold the button, you go high, medium, low, high, medium, low. If you double tap it, you go into, I guess, like turbo mode right away. If you triple tap it, you get this strobe mode. But it's just awesome to have all that built in to one light. The knurling on the side is really nice, so you have good grip. It's not going anywhere. And, I said it has a magnet in the back for charging, but then it can, attach other metal. So if you want to put it under the hood of your car so you can see it down into the engine, whatever the case may be, you can easily do that with this light because it has, again, very strong magnets. So awesome light, lasts forever, runs. Would recommend that. And for that and any other things in here, I'll try to get links in the description. Moving on, simple, Bic lighter. You get a giant, 12-pack, 6-pack of these for cheap. They're just dependable. They always work. Just be able to start fire, making sure that, if you've gone somewhere and you ran out of your fire essentials and, another bin or with your camping stuff, just having an extra one of these on hand is great. I was just at a friend's birthday party and they were lighting the cake, and 10 feet away I had my bag and I knew my lighter was in there. So that saved the day, and I'm happy to help where I can. Then in the middle, got AirPods. Love them. Noise cancellation. Got to have my tunes or be able to take calls for work. I have a second set that I can keep in here, which is great. Otherwise, I have another one that I'm using, before bed or exercising and going to work. But those are really awesome. I love the ones that go over your ears, but those are just kind of a little bulky and hard to bring places. So again, I just love having these, being able to slip them into your jeans pockets, and that is nice. Going into this pocket on the left side, I have a ThermoWorks, I think it's called a Thermo Drop. So there's just this little lanyard in here. And as you can see, 76 degrees in here, maybe in that pocket. But this will tell you the current temperature. So it can go in extreme hot, it can go in extreme cold. It has some nice functions you can cycle through that'll show you the max temp and the min temp since you've had it on. So for example, if I'm going winter camping and it's really cold outside, I'll put this outside this tent just, out of curiosity to see how cold it got during the night. But that's neat. You can turn it off, to save battery life. And then, I'll attach it to my zipper, my pack, when I'm on my next adventure. So moving past the middle to the right side, I have another light, and this is the Black Diamond Spot R. So this is kind of another multi-light. So it has this nice lock function at the top. So if you hold both buttons, it'll make sure that it can't turn on. What I have found is that when I have this folded in the case, sometimes this case is hitting one of those buttons and turning it on, wasting the battery. So if you just hold both buttons, the lock is now off. There's kind of like a spotlight, floodlight, and a red light. And then you can do different modes where they're flashing, kind of that strobe effect. You can change the intensities from, low, medium, high. So just a ton of different modes. If you just, you want to look at a map and not burn your eyes out, you can use like a low red light or a white light. If you need to see in the distance or you're looking at wildlife, you can turn it on high mode. But, different options, in case you want to save battery or whatever the case may be. So that is really nice. And I'm I'm not going to go back to any alkaline batteries for any of these lights. You know, as you saw in the other one and on this one, you have this meter on the side. It shows you how much battery is left. I am disappointed that this one is micro USB. Everything needs to go to USB-C, and I mean everything. There are many things I'm not buying anymore unless it is USB-C, because I only want to carry one type of cord. But we are not fully there yet. This light just happens to be micro USB, and we're going to get past this, people. We will. But just really nice lights. And I'll tell you, I don't use disposable battery lights anymore. You know, people say, well, you know, what if it hits the fan? What are you going to do? You want your stockpile of batteries, right? Well, I think differently now. I have so many of these power banks, large, small, EcoFlows, Anchors. I have solar panels. So if I'm ever in a pinch and I need to recharge my batteries, I absolutely always can. There's no reason to carry around, you know, disposable batteries anymore. Last thing you guys can see right here is an Anchor GAN Prime changer. Did I say changer? I mean charger. So it's got the flip out prongs, so you can stick it into the wall. This is a little heavy, it's bulky, but I'm not joking. You plug it in the wall and it is very sturdy. It doesn't lean or feel like it's gonna fall out in any way. They've designed this in a really nice fashion where it's gonna work good and it's gonna hang off a vertical wall. We do have USB-A and C ports. Just another thing, I don't want to see A ever again, but there still are some devices and cords that need that, so it's great to have the option. But we got 3, and 2 of them are USB-C, so that is awesome. And this GAN technology, this allows it to be a smaller unit, a faster charging unit, and it's got a lot of good safety features built in, so it's not going to overcharge devices, it's not going to overheat. So Anchor is a brand that I've trusted for a long time. They have a lot of great gear, and this one is no exception. I just love having it on me and being able to charge my phone, my Apple Watch, a lantern, whatever the case may be, stuff for the kids, iPads. It's 100 watts, so if you want to charge a 16-inch MacBook Pro, you can certainly do that. And then I guess kind of related to this on the side is the side pocket, and I just keep cords. I have just a USB-C to USB-C cord, and I have, I just thought about it, guys. I have a lightning cord in here, and my wife just got a new iPhone, and that was the final device in our family that uses lightning. So I am happy to get rid of that one less cord we need to worry about. So now we just have in here the USB-C and the Apple Watch charger. So I'll keep those on the side. And so whenever I'm going on vacation to someone's house, camping, I always know I have what I need to be able to charge my devices. I already have micro USBs and my Olight charger in my vehicle, so they're always there. And if I'm going on any trips, I'm making sure these things are topped off, so I never need to charge while I'm on the go. But if it happens where I do need more power, I need more light, I got redundancies everywhere, so I'm not worried. So that is the Brandon Meebs Weekender EDC kit. Again, you can make these your own. If you want to carry, a notebook and a pen, if you've got allergy medicine, if you want to carry your Nintendo Switch, there's a setup, there's a bag that works for everything. So just think through what you need, what you want to bring with you. Always be prepared, so when you get to your destination, you have what you need. But I hope this was helpful. If there's anything you would change or add, I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments. And I'll see you on the next one.